What's good? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. Today's Friday. Put some of that bread up. Today we talking about making the right decision. So make sure before you do anything, the first right decision you make is hitting like, share, and subscribe, right? Even if you just liking, if you haven't subscribed right now, tell a friend. You feel me? But Friday, we call that grind day. Make sure that you don't cheat yourself, treat yourself, but not too much. Because too much of anything makes you an addict. Today we talking about Sean Kingston. I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute because there's so many conversations around what you should do if you're in a situation with you and your moms and y'all catch a case together. Now, this is a very, very, very particular case. And the reason why it's a particular case because it's not just about somebody and their moms catching a case together. It's about an artist. And one thing I will always tell y'all is, while a lot of people love music and they love artists, artists are some of the most worst people that exist on this planet. Yeah, I said it. And I'm talking from my own experience. I ain't talking from what I heard. I'm talking about what I've gone through with numerous artists throughout my career. Now, that don't make everybody bad. Like, don't get it twisted. I don't think that everybody's a bad person. But artists, when they get into very, very compromising situations, being that they create this lifestyle and this thing in their mind that they got to keep maintaining, they don't care how they treat anybody and they don't care how they treat situations. And I think that's how Sean Kingston ended up where he is. Now, Sean Kingston is an artist that has sold over 20 million records. I'm going to say it again. Sean Kingston is an artist that sold over 20 million records, but yet we have him in this predicament, this situation, however you want to call it, right? So Sean Kingston and his moms, Janice Turner, were found guilty in a federal wire fraud involving over $1 million in fraudulent acquisitions of luxury goods. The trial concluded late March in Broward County, Florida, with both facing significant legal consequences, right? So the facts of the situation is this. Charges and conviction, both Sean Kingston and his moms, Keshawn Anderson and Turner, were found convicted on 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 5 counts of wire fraud. Each count carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in prison. Now, I don't know much about Sean Kingston moms, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time he's ever been in real serious trouble. But I want to talk about artists and their careers and how they end up in situations like this. Now, for the most part, right, you get a record deal, you think, oh, I'm rich, right? Whatever first money you make, you think that whatever lump sum, whatever comes to you is going to be yours forever. What people don't teach or what people don't know is once you make something and you start living a certain type of life, if you want to continue living that type of life, you have to keep working. You have to keep working, and it don't stop. It does not stop. Now, when it comes to somebody like Sean Kingston, he's, had big records. He's had records. Beautiful Girl is like his most notable hit, but he's written for people. He's had the world at his feet in his own world. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, he was rapping, but became a big pop star. Now, when you start losing stuff, you know what I'm saying? You start losing stuff like access. Once you're not hot no more, they always say this, you only as hot as the last thing you did. And he ain't been hot in a minute. But the thing about Sean Kingston, right, it says that the fraudulent activities, this is what is in there, nearly $500,000 in jewelry, $160,000 Cadillac Escalade from a dealership, $86,000 custom bed from a manufacturer, right, over $200,000 from Bank of America, right, and that's just the tip of the iceberg when it come to him. There was this video that went viral with him, and it's some lady, she's saying that she wants him, he wants some jewelry. She's like, all right, well, give me the money and I'll give you the jewelry. He gets confrontational. She alleged that he pulled out a gun on her. All types of crazy stuff, right? Then there's another story about how he had said that he bought some private jet. The private jet belonged to him. He went on IG going crazy about the private jet. And the lady who was doing the deal with him, she basically was like, well, we haven't gotten, like, it was supposed to be Wi-Fi on the plane. So the Wi-Fi wasn't in the plane. They like, all right, we're going to put the Wi-Fi on the plane. They put the Wi-Fi on the plane and everything. And then he fakes out and doesn't give him the bread. Now, what I think about Sean Kingston regarding his situation from other situations I've seen with numerous artists in my career is that you know, that high, that untouchable feeling that you think it can't be you until it's you. You think you'll never run out. You see all them zeros and publishing and all this money and it's coming in from every way. And then like you just trying to maintain. So you doing any and everything you can. But then he brings his mom into it. And it's this conversation about, yo, well, if you caught a case with your moms, would you take the case for your moms? I think any logical man or any man knows that if you are in a situation and you committed the crime and you brung your moms into it, I think that, yeah, that would be the right thing to do. But I think that when it come to him and his moms, he brought her into a lot of stuff because he just didn't know how to handle things. And she just was being her moms. Now, she did dirt too. Most likely did dirt because you wouldn't have these type of allegations or these type of convictions. These not allegations, these is convictions. So they've been convicted. It's been proven that they committed these crimes. You wouldn't have these type of convictions if they weren't trying to uphold or live a lifestyle that they didn't want to let go of. And it's hard to let that go. It's real hard to let that go. When somebody eating steak, you going to Roof Chris every time you could think about it, and then you can't afford McDonald's, that's a reality check for your ass. But the thing about it is that my problem I have with men is that you got to be accountable at all times. At all times, not when it's convenient. See, I done been around a lot of different men in my life. I done been around men who they don't want to be accountable when it's time to be responsible. But they want to be accountable when it's time to be responsible about BS. So when it's time to fight, oh yeah, they want to be responsible for that. Oh yeah, they put in work, right? When it's time to, be active, sexually active with women that they don't know, that they don't care to know, oh, they want to be men for that because they believe that makes them a man. But when you start talking about just logistics of life, having your health together, having your credit together, having a couple dollars so that you not just maintaining, but you able to live, then it's, oh, I didn't know and nobody didn't teach me. How long can people keep going on with the they didn't teach me shit? It's boring, it's tired, and it's just, it's corny at this point. I mean, like, how long can grown-ass men sit here and pretend like they don't know? They be knowing, they just trying to act like they don't. And this is why I'm telling y'all about artists, because this is a common denominator with a lot of different artists. Sean Kingston ain't the only one who's going through something like this, and he not going to be the last. You want to know why? Because they don't want to be responsible until it's time to be responsible for some BS, right? So it says sentencing at custody. It says Turner was taken into custody immediately after the verdict. They took his mom's immediately, right? Deemed a flight risk due to her prior conviction for bank fraud. Oh, so his mom's ain't new to none of this. She true to it. All right, Kingston was placed under house arrest with an electronic monitor, required to post $200,000 cash bond and a $500,000 surety, right? Says there was an emotional reaction from, listen, you don't think it can be you until it's you. And this happens way too often on many levels. On many levels, on many, 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 many levels. At what point in time do you say, yo, listen, I just can't live up to it no more? I'll say specifically in my culture, I'm not going to talk about nobody else's culture but mine. I'm talking about being black. And I'm also talking from the perspective of living in poverty. Now, I haven't been living in poverty for some years now. I've been doing okay for myself. And it's not easy. It is difficult to maintain. But what I will say is that it's a nation of people who don't want to look in the mirror and accept when it's over. It's a nation of people that don't want to be responsible for themselves or their actions. Now, when it comes to materials, right? Materials and lifestyle, I feel like at this point in 2025, using the idea of you've never had nothing as a license to be irresponsible is a cop-out, especially if you're making money. You got to think, right? The average man in America make $48,000 a year. I think the average woman makes around the same or maybe $52,000. Not that much money at all. And every time we see these rappers, we see these artists, we see these people who getting it or now they done got it out the mud, their excuse for spending recklessly is what? Well, I ain't never had nothing. Now, on one hand, I do understand the fact that if you've never had nothing and you've never been taught, then you won't know nothing about maintaining, right? But this situation right here with Sean Kingston, this is not like his first time going through this. And this is just me speaking from the outside looking in. I don't know this nigga from nothing at all, but I know how this goes. This is like, he's in his 30s now. He ain't had a record in a minute. He ain't been as hot as he was at one point in time in a minute. And the problem is, a lot of artists, they be thinking, like, they mindset really be on, they think they the same person they was the hottest year they've ever had in their life. If you was hot in 2002 or 2006 or 2007 and you haven't figured out how to adapt and still have those moments whenever you want within your career based on your work ethic, based on what you do musically, based on what you doing touring, all of that, you be messed up. You be thinking, oh yeah, like they know who I am. They know what's up with me. They know what. No, they don't. You think that's what it is. Them same people that was checking for you when you was young are older now. It's not the same people. Them same girls that was on you back in the day, they either married with kids or got kids or single, whatever, but they ain't them little girls that was checking for you back in the day. And it comes some sort of level of regulation. When do we start regulating ourselves to say, yo, I got to do better? See, we always complain about, yo, why ain't they teach this in school? How could the teachers teach us how to not be in debt and they in debt? They took jobs to be in debt to teach us. So how could, that's the blind leading the blind. Ain't nobody going to learn from that, right? But I look at it from the perspective of this. Everybody who's had success and had a lot of money has won and they failed. Don't get it twisted. Everybody you could think of has either gone through going all the way flat broke once they made money, or they've had a serious scare. And if you haven't, God bless you. God bless you. Because I said everybody, which is a generalized and blanket statement, and I could be wrong. I'll admit that. But a lot of people, when you don't have, you got to get hurt to learn. And it's a whole lot of hurt. But you can't pour hurt on top of that hurt and thinking that you're going to get out of this. Now, it wasn't even possible for Sean Kingston to take this case. It wasn't. And it's definitely going to be a sad-ass day, because let me tell y'all something about prison. Prison is prison. You in there for fraud, somebody in there for shooting up the block. You in there for fraud, somebody in there for being a PDF, and you might be their cellmate. You in there for fraud, somebody might be in there for terroristic acts. But this is about, life is about choices, and life is about making decisions. And no, we don't always know the decisions that we making is going to be right or wrong, but we do know right from wrong. So I want to add that there. All right, I want to close out with this, right? So it's been this video that's been going viral of this young man. And it said that he was sentenced to 35 years for taking somebody's life, him and some of his friends. It's him and his grandmoms. But let's watch it right quick. So let's watch it right quick. Hold on a second, y'all. Let's watch it. This right here is extremely.
I'm sorry you got to go through this. But all you had to do was listen to your parents. Okay? Okay?
And the reason why
I don't know how things gonna turn out for you. I ain't got no idea how nothing's gonna turn out. No idea at all.
Go to jail. What was crazy is like,
okay, I had to tell them that I pick y'all up. Okay?
Nothing she could do.
I had to tell them I pick y'all up, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. But I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing the second. I told y'all don't tell me nothing. Didn't I tell you that? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, baby.
Like,
so I'm so sorry you got to go through what you're going through. But if God help you out of this, please get yourself together, baby.
Out of this, please.
And it's going to take a miracle.
It's going to take a miracle.
It's going to take a miracle that we don't have. You can turn me loose now. You can sit back down, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Your grandma don't know. Ain't nothing we can do to help you now. It's all over now. I know. It's a hard pill to swallow.
They was here see my brothers no more.
No, nobody. 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 That's why when you have your precious time, it should be precious time.
And this is, you know, I'm gonna stop it right here. Listen, for us parents out there, especially the ones that got teenagers, it's tough. Especially you got teenage boys, teenage girls as well. But them boys, man, you don't know where it's gonna come from. You know what I mean? It could come from a hater, or your kid might be the hater. And you know, to see a situation like that, my heart goes out to his family more than him, because failing as a parent, I'm not going to call you a failure as a parent if your kid go to prison. But knowing that you did what you were supposed to do as a parent, and then your kid go out and make a bad decision and lose their life, or take somebody's life, or lose their life to the system, boy, is it a sad day. And again, somebody lost their life here. So I can only imagine what the other kids' parents is going through, but or whomever passed away is going through. But again, got to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? Got to be accountable. Now, these young, I don't like this YN culture, because this whole YN thing has become like this meme, this joke, you know, these skits and all of that. And I feel like all of that, it plays more into the narrative about who these kids think they are. They think that this is a game. They think it's a joke because people is laughing at them and making fun of it on social media, and they seeing it all day. And they think what they doing is funny, but it's extremely serious out here. It's extremely serious out here, man. And I think that, if you got a son, if you a man and you got a son, you got to be on you got to be on them another level. Even with the young ladies, man, we got to be on our kids on another level, because let me tell you something. They not sparing nobody out here. This is I do it myself. For the ones that rock with me, you know how we do. For the ones that don't, eventually you will. Protect your children. Peace.